Thank you for watching our channel and our course. We are providing services for proofreading, article formatting and citation management. And there are much more about the services. For more information, you may contact us on the provided contact details. Thank you. Hello, welcome to the sixth lecture of academic writing. And today we are going to discuss the revising step. If you remember, in previous lecture, we have discussed the drafting step. After the drafting, you need to revise your first draft. If there is any mistakes, you can remove the mistakes. Today we will discuss the revising steps in detail. First of all, the triage approach is very appropriate and mostly used by medical doctors, and you need to focus on checking and refining the structure. And you need to tackle each issue in turns. For example, if there is a problem in structure, you need to correct all the structure. If there is a problem in grammar, you need to correct all the grammar. But you can't do that first. Simultaneously, you are doing the grammar correction and also the structure correction. You need to focus what thing you are going to address. Also divide the issue with the level of urgency, which thing is more important at the present time. Could be the common problems. The common problems can be divided into four main categories, such as it could be faulty organization, lack of clarity, inappropriate usage of language, or poor grammar. First of all, we need to discuss faulty organization. It could be associated with poor structure. The most common problem of early drafts whenever you write a first draft, it is the most common problem that your organization is not correct. And this is basically expected from the inexperienced writers. The next thing is lack of clarity. The lack of clarity may be depend of number of factors such as poor structure, ambiguous referencing, awkward language. These questions can help you to improve the clarity of your article. First of all, you must know what you want to say. The next thing you need to focus on that. Are you saying that thing you want to describe in your article? And think that what impression you want to leave in the reader's mind. This is the most important thing. The other thing is inappropriate usage of language. Basically, you need to use a language that can be understood by everyone, and you need to provide a sufficient level of details and background information, as I have told you in the previous lectures. And the important thing is that the tone, you can see, the tone should be neutral in scientific writing. You need to avoid these things such as colloquialisms, second personal pronoun, this is very important, phrasal verbs, because maybe most of the persons do not know what are the appropriate meaning of that phrasal verbs, because most of the reader may be not from the English countries, so they do not know the regular phrasal verbs. So avoid the phrasal verbs. The redundancy and ambiguity, and also avoid contractions, imperatives. Next thing is the usage of poor grammar, and mostly early draft found this problem. You need to establish a set of rules on how words and sentences are combined together to provide meaning. Basically, this is the grammar. We cannot discuss this thing in this lecture. I hope we will be covering this in upcoming lecture. Now, I want to give you some tips. First of all, in previous lectures, you have already learned how to organize the structure by using mind maps. Now, if you organize the structure and you started writing, you need to follow some type of structure. For example, pyramidal structure, logical sequence, chronological structure. You need to choose which structure you will follow in your article. And there is an other structure which is compare and contrast structure, problem to solution structure. First of all, pyramidal structure. If you are proceeding from general to specific thing or specific to general thing, it is called as a pyramidal structure. In general to specific, the pyramidal structure is often used in introduction section. You started from the background of the study to narrow down your literature and come to this particular problem you want to discuss in your article, and in specific to general normally used in conclusion sections. Here is the picture. Logical sequence basically presents information that is logical in argument. It is often used in mathematical or theoretical work to demonstrate a proposition as an outcome of your hypothesis. And chronological structure is useful when you are describing methods or procedures, especially if a strict temporal sequence is a part of approach used, and occasionally it can be used to present results. The next is compare and contrast. It is showing that used in literature review to critically compare the works of others so that you can make a proposition that this problem exists and this type of solution are not working for this particular problem. You can also use this structure in the discussion section to compare the results with the other studies. The name is also suggests problem to solution when you are describing some problem and then giving the solution of that particular problem. And mostly this type of approach used in grant applications. The next thing is paragraph as a building blocks. There are two main purposes of paragraph. Break down the text into visual chunks so that people can make a visual idea what you are talking about, and it also provides the building blocks to construct the text. Paragraph can be consist of three parts I will be discussing in this slide a moment later, and paragraph also contain transition elements to connect paragraphs together, and it is very important to focus first on revising each paragraph. You cannot revise all the paragraphs at once. First need to focus that particular paragraph is describing the background you want to describe in that particular paragraph. First of all, a paragraph should have opening statement that introduce the readers to the main topic or idea. The other part is development part. In this section, you will add information or supporting statement so that you can build your argument towards your conclusion. And the last part is conclusion, when few lines summarizes the information presented in that particular paragraph. You can see that transition plus key idea plus development of the key idea. The next thing is reverse outlining. The structure of individual paragraph should be checked, and it should contain only one or two key ideas, not so many ideas you need to discuss in one paragraph. You need to choose and describe only one or two ideas in a particular paragraph. In this thing, you can apply the reverse outline, such as extracting the key ideas from each paragraph and copying them into the separate file, and compare them and arrange them according to organization that provides better view of your article. Check their logical sequence and reorder them if they lack the logical sequence. The next thing is linking the paragraphs together. This is very important. How will you link two paragraphs together so that the story doesn't break? Transition words often used to link paragraphs, and each word provides an idea of the structure. Chronological structure transition word, for example, first, second, meanwhile, and finally. For it is showing the sequence and transition from one thing to another. Other linking is that general to specific structure, such as, for example, specifically to illustrate, like that. The next approach is least to most important structure, most importantly, the foremost, clearly. This type of words can be used. Pair and construct structure are basically use the words similarly, by contrast, in comparison, and problem to solution approach mostly use the words but, however, nevertheless, instead. Parallel structure approach. Refer to the grammatical form of the item in a list, and items may be nouns, phrases, or clauses. But you need to focus that the form chosen for the first item on the list must be repeated in all others. As you can see that their careful planning mean adjective and noun and proper execution adjective and noun is followed. Similarly, he failed the exam not only because of poor preparation, prepositional phrase, but also because of the time management, prepositional phrase. Similarly, this example is showing the objective clause. So you can see that the form chosen in the first item must be repeated in all other. Most appropriate approach is to get feedback about your writing. For example, when you complete your early draft, you need to focus on, are ideas appropriate, enough, or relevant? And to whom you can ask these questions. You can allow your fellow colleagues and students to read your early draft, and you can ask this question from them. The next thing is middle draft. In this section, you need to focus on how are ideas clear, coherent, well structured. For this, you need to ask for the experience postdoc or your supervisor. And finally, in the final draft, you need to focus on overall content. Is the work correct, accurate, comprehensive? And for this, you need to ask your supervisor and other experts. Hope you understand the revising step and you may have the idea of what things you need to focus on when you are revising your article. Please rate this course and give your valuable feedback.